Hello guys and welcome to another track guide video, and in this one we got daily race C at Spa Francorchamps and we got GR Supra in Group 3 and I've somehow made it into the top 10, so this is P8 in the world when I was recording this video, a 14.1. It was just about 2.5 tenths, a little bit more slower than the world leader. So yeah, here we go. Let's go into the guide. So second gear on the way out of the last corner, just to give you a little bit more speed, and I think it's better to take a wider line so you can carry the speed. Rev up fourth, do not upshift into fifth. Here, this is the 100 meter sign a little bit later, so maybe about 80, and make sure that you turn in late. And here I kind of try to get the rotation right in second gear on the way out of the corner. So you can get more rotation if you use brake and balance 5, but I believe the most important thing out of all of this is to get the latest possible entry and to carry all of that speed into this whole section. Eau Rouge is pretty simple, 6th gear as you go downhill, because if you go uphill in 5th gear you will most likely lose a bit of speed. So if you basically upshift into 6th gear here, you will most likely lose a bit of speed. I think it was about half a tenth to about a tenth. Now into this twisty section, and now you need to use the curbs if you want to get the maximum amount of rotation and the maximum amount of speed. When the curb ends, try to turn in second gear. I always give it a little bit of power in 3rd gear, but you can stay in second. It's not gonna kind of not get the best kind of performance out of the car. 3rd gear through this whole section, now quickly upshifting into 4th gear to reduce the wheel spin, and you need to use the curb on the right because the curb will give you that rotation as well as here. So you can see I'm going very wide here. The kind of the entry is even touching the curb slightly, downshifting into 1st gear but quickly, because this was I guess this is going to get the rotation of the car in 3rd gear on the way out. So kind of in the middle of the corner I try to get on the power, and of course once again we will go as wide as possible, and this is the only reference that I have. Just a tiny bit of rotation if you trail brake a little bit, but make sure that you lift off before you touch the curb, because you want to get the power down early and you want to carry all of that speed through this whole section. So this is where I made a little mistake. This is the Marshall. The Marshall is the reference here, but I guess 30-40% is kind of, I would say, the optimum that you want to get. So I got the brakes up to 50%, and you can actually see that I started losing a little bit of time. It was fine. It was actually nothing wrong about this corner, but I could have carried a little bit more speed if I did like 30-35% of brakes. Here, 50 meter mark, or you can once again use the curb. Use the curb slightly and make sure that you heavily downshift into 2nd and then quickly upshifting into 3rd. Here I didn't really use the curbs. You can use the curbs, and I think it's better if you use the curbs, but if you start accelerating on the curb, the car might spin out, so it's quite risky, but you might get a little bit more rotation as well as here. So be careful on the way out. This is the point where you brake, but make sure not to stay on the brakes for too long. You can see I'm lifting off, and here when I touch the curb I'm already accelerating. So this can be quite a tricky section and quite a tricky corner because you can spin out, but here once again quickly upshifting into 5th to avoid additional understeer. You can see that I did it a little bit later. You can do it slightly earlier, and in the end I think it's better for the top speed of the car and this whole section. So here this corner is quite easy. We are using the soft tires, and now into the most interesting corner. So here in the middle of the 150 and the 125, let's say, I brake, I use the curb on the left. Just when you pass the 50 meter sign, I think it's fine, and over the curb in 1st gear. This will get you the rotation that you need. 1st gear, then a little tap on the brakes. Make sure that you use the curb on the left hand side, and 2nd gear on the way out. The car might slide, but you actually want it to slide a little bit, and in the end it was a 214.1, and this got me, as I said before, up to kind of into the top 10, into P8 in the world. I think it's going to be a little bit slower, a little bit lower at the end of the week, but it's a pretty decent one. And if you would like to know more about how I get up to speed, you can check this video out. So guys, until the next time, bye.